The war around Iran has gained a new symbol of power and pressure. And on this Monday, April 20, 2026, the focus was no longer just on ships, missiles, and blockades. What is now at the center of the tension is the suspicion that the United States has deployed over the region a system so secret that it hasn't even been officially acknowledged. The RQ-180 drone, a stealth reconnaissance platform that, in the public record, practically doesn't exist. This is the core of the case that has gained momentum in recent weeks. What happened? On March 18th, images taken in Larissa, Greece, showed a flying wing aircraft landing at the local base. The news first came out on the Greek portal on Larissa, which referred to the plane as a B-2. But the shape of the aircraft, the landing gear, and the visible details led specialized analysts to a different conclusion. That looked much more like the mysterious RQ-180 or some direct evolution of it. Who is at the center of this? The United States Air Force, Northrop Grumman, defense analysts, and in the background, Iran, a potential target of much deeper surveillance than what had been said until now. The decisive detail is that Larissa is already a location used by American forces, including for operations with Emkinov and Reaper. This turned the curious image into something more serious. A concrete indication that a highly sensitive asset may have been moved to a forward position, close enough to support missions related to the conflict. And how did Washington react? With silence. So far, American authorities have neither confirmed nor officially explained the presence of the aircraft. This is the point where entra a pergunta mais importante. How would this drone fit into the conflict? The answer is simple. Iran still poses a real threat with mobile missile launchers, underground positions, and the ability to disperse targets over large areas. Experts interviewed and analyzed by the War Zone point out that the main problem for the United States and Israel is not just attacking, but quickly locating where the launchers are before they fire. This challenge grows because many vehicles can look like regular trucks, change positions quickly, and even operate near hardened or underground structures. Even after weeks of attacks, the Associated Press noted that the Iranian military apparatus is still capable of causing regional chaos and political and economic impact. So, what exactly would the RQ-180 be in this scenario? Not a bomber, but an almost invisible eye. The most recent analyses indicate that the aircraft seen in Greece features large electro-optical apertures under the fuselage, capable of observing the terrain and the horizon at wide angles. Experts believe that this system may combine visual sensors, synthetic aperture radar, and ground-moving target indication radar. To put it simply, it would be used to detect movement, track displacements, identify patterns, see both day and night, and help distinguish real targets from decoys. This is the kind of capability that can be a game changer in a war where the enemy relies on mobility and surprise, and how it works becomes even clearer when you look at the mission plan. The technical analysis itself indicates that, flying at high altitude, this platform can perform surveillance orbits from a distance, maintaining continuous coverage over an area without having to conspicuously enter the heart of the danger zone. The sensors can also pick up radio emissions and locate sources on the ground. This means that, instead of just seeing a target, the system could assemble an entire picture of the battle in real time and relay data to those who are going to attack. In summary, first it finds, then it tracks, then it feeds the kill chain. That's why this drone draws so much attention. Not because it explodes, but because it makes other people's strikes much more precise. Those who have been following this topic for a while know that the RQ-180 didn't just come out of nowhere. Aviation Week was already covering, back in 2013, a large secret stealth reconnaissance system connected to Northrop Grumman. In 2020, the same network published that a possible photo of the aircraft had appeared over California. And it mentioned nicknames like Great White, Bat, and Chikaka. In addition to linking the symbol to a reconnaissance squadron which would be identified as part of this structure. In other words, the aircraft wasn't just made up now. What has changed is that, for the first time, it seems to have come out of the shadows in a much more visible way, precisely at a time when the pressure on Iran demands an extreme level of surveillance. This also helps answer the political and strategic reasons why. If the United States really deployed this asset to operate near the Iranian theater, the message is serious. Washington would not just be trying to punish Tehran with attack and blockade. It would be seeking to dominate the unseen side of warfare, track, anticipate, constrain, and reduce Iran's room for surprise. This matches the current moment, in which the Trump administration maintains both military and financial pressure at the same time, while negotiations remain fragile and the risk of a new escalation still hangs over Hormuz and the entire region. In the end, the story can be summed up like this. What appeared was possible evidence that the United States is using a highly advanced stealth intelligence platform. The ones behind this are the US military establishment and its allies in the campaign against Iran. With the debate still alive today, on April 20, 2026, directly linked to the Iranian conflict, how would that work? It would be through advanced surveillance, tracking of moving targets, and integration with attacks. And why does this matter so much? It's because Iran still retains the ability to respond, and because modern warfare doesn't depend only on brute force, but on who sees first. If this interpretation is correct, what flew over Iran wasn't just a drone. It was a silent warning that the war has entered an even colder, more technical, and more ruthless stage.